felt like kind of numb about that initially. Like I didn't really even have any emotion other than just being a bit sad. But then also like Laura Phillip having this amazing performance, which I still don't think a lot of people comprehend how good her performance was on the weekend. Like that also like added another layer of like, what am I even doing this for? Like, I'm never going to be able to compete at that level. -1, -2. Okay. Hey guys. I'm just coming to you just casually from my balcony in the Swiss Alps. No, we're in St. Moritz, and I just thought I'd just do a really quick race recap about Hamburg, even though I didn't finish the race. I was really tired in the week leading up. You guys know all the dramas that we had with delayed flights and bikes going missing and all that kind of jazz. So I didn't feel myself all week, and I actually just felt, yeah, even the day before the race, felt really tired. But on race morning, I was fine.
Swim stroke, every turn of the pedals and every step on the run. Time check for you for this Super Sunday morning is 5:15 a.m. 1 hour away from the race start for the professional athletes. You're anywhere near the race gap, you must just ensure that the official Ironman Hamburg local swim cap does the cap that you wear on top. Another important piece.
6:15 Uhr der erste Startschuss für die
Representing Australia, Renee Kiley, second place here last year.
Representing France, Manon Genet.
Her Ironman debut for the United States, Chelsea Sodaro.
And welcoming from Germany, the defending European champion, Laura Phillip.
To our professional woman, 15 seconds, you're in the hands of the starter.
Gentlemen, the start to the Ironman Hamburg European Championship 2022.
The swim, again, just another disappointing swim for me. I really wanted to like make that front group with the 4 girls like Laura, Chelsea, Manon and Chantal. I knew they were all like the best swimmers in the field, and I thought they would all swim together, and I thought it was a really good opportunity for me to swim with them. Anyway, I tried so hard. I put myself next to Manon at the start, and I actually held her feet for probably 50 meters. I like jumped straight onto her feet and held her feet for probably 50 meters, and then I just gradually started dropping off, and it was another really awkward position. Like I was like literally 5 meters. I watched the coverage back the next day, I think it was, and you can just see me, like, I'm just literally just 5 meters off the back of Manon, who was in the front group, and I'm like 10, 15 meters ahead of all the other swimmers.
Well, there we go. We're underway, Dee Dee, with a clean start there, with a lame little start there. I thought it was...
That was not befitting an Ironman European Championship start canon, I don't think, but we are underway. Nevertheless, our professional women here underway. We see two distinct packs forming. I see that yellow cap of Chelsea Sodaro, and of course the green cap
Manon Genet is in second right now, and you can see right behind that is Renee Kiley. She's sitting on the fourth position at this point in time, and then Laura Phillip is sitting right behind Chelsea Sodaro, trying to get into the draft and the bubbles at this stage, but we did see distinctively two different sides were starting, and there we go. Get a good look at that, and all four of our top-seeded women have chosen the left-hand side.
Absolutely, and again, two packs of athletes. It's a straightaway to that Kennedy Bridge where there'll be spectators lined. They were out there from the time the sun came up this morning, which was pretty early, Greg. So they were out there getting the first class seats to watch all of the swimmers swim under that bridge as they make their way from the inner harbor here out into the outermost, the sort of the meat and potatoes of our swim course today.
Yeah, we can see Manon Genet, the French lady here, the French woman is getting off to a really nice start. Chelsea Sodaro in the neon green cap on the farther part of the TV shot right now. We can tell you that they are going at it right now, side by side, first and second place there, but you can see that now Renee Kiley is just slipping off the back of that group already. So Sodaro and Genet are off to a great start, and I love the way that Genet is really throwing herself at this swim course in the most beautiful conditions on a glorious morning. Dee Dee, as you set up on the Kennedy Bridge just a moment ago, people lining this course, and I've been here before and I've seen it firsthand.
So again, just don't have that top end speed to be able to swim like flat out with the better swimmers for 300 to 400 meters, because that's when the pace kind of dies down. So anyway, just like my swim was okay, but I'm just disappointed I didn't make that first group, and we just got to keep working on that takeout speed so I can get with those faster swimmers, because for me it ends up meaning that they swim 4 to 5 minutes faster than me because they're swimming in a group, and they're not swimming that much faster than me once that pace slows down. It's just my takeout speed. Anyway, so that was a swim. Bike was fine. I didn't feel my best, but I was still pushing okay power. It was basically just a solo time trial for me. I was doing the maths on the out and backs on some of the turns, and I wasn't gaining any time on the leaders. They came out in the swim 4 minutes ahead of me, and I wasn't gaining time, but I wasn't losing time. And I was really, really far ahead of the girls behind. So again, I was just kind of in no man's land. Anyway, I saw going through town on the second loop, just coming out of town, I remember being in TT and watching this pile of glass, all this pile of glass. And I remember thinking to myself, shit, I hope I haven't ridden over the top of that. And nothing happened, so I thought it was fine. It's just funny, I never gave it another thought, obviously, until I got the flat tire, and then I remembered back. But that would have been at the 100k mark. So I don't even know if it was that, but yeah, at around 165k, I think it was, or 168 kilometer mark. So I literally had 10 or 12 kilometers to go in the race, and my tire just went flat. And I was in the back roads going through this village area, nowhere near an aid station, nowhere near anyone. So I got off and I actually changed the flat really quickly. And then I must have pinched the tube when I put the new tube in, because as soon as I put full air in it with the canister, it just blew straight away. And I only had the one canister on me, and there was nobody around me. So yeah, I was devastated at the time. I just felt like crying, but I didn't think there was going to be any opportunity for me to get going again. I didn't have another canister to blow it up, so I had to walk to this walk to the next not technical official, the security guys on course. Anyway, I walked there. They didn't speak, there was two guys there, they didn't speak English, there was no roving tech support in this race, which we actually brought up in the pro briefing a couple of days before the race, that we thought they should have roving mechanical support. They would have had it if it was a male pro race. So anyway, they didn't understand. I had a flat tire. They were just there collecting rubbish off the road. That was their job. So it was actually quite funny. They didn't speak a word of English, so they were trying to communicate with me via Google Translate, and it was just a brain buster. So I just sat there with them. They told me they called a support vehicle to come and get me. Sat there for half an hour, no vehicle, an hour, no vehicle. I'm trying to ask the guy where the vehicle is. He couldn't understand me. The guy who called the vehicle had left by then. It was just a nightmare. Then a technical official, a referee, actually rode past. I flagged him down and said, like, you need to call in that I've DNF'd. He wrote my number down and said he was doing it, and he looked like he was doing it, like he got on his walkie-talkie. But anyway, meanwhile, no one in town knew where I was. I dropped off. No one had a clue where I was. So 2 hours have gone by, and I'm sitting at this, like, I'm just sitting on the gutter, like, with these two guys, or one guy by this point that couldn't speak English. And then this other official guy, like, that had a vest on that was working at the event, he came running around the corner, this is after 2 hours, with like a spares kit. So they were collecting like bottles and rubbish that people were like dropping on course. So an age grouper must have lost their like little tub spares kit in that section, and he like comes running up because he knew I had a flat tire, and we found like everything we needed to change a tire in there, spare tube, like everything was in there, canisters and stuff. So he helped me change my tire again. And I got going, and I said to him, I'm just going to ride into town because this car wasn't coming. Anyway, so I just like sat up and started riding the course back into town. I was with all that tail end of the age group field. And then ran into Ben, who's just a fan on Instagram, who came and supported me in Hamburg last year. He just yells out, "Hey Renee," like this is like 5-6 Ks out of town still. "Hey Renee, what happened?" And I'm like riding on the course, and he's over on the bike path. And I'm like, "Oh, I got a double flat, and I had to DNF. It's a long story." And he's like, "Oh, okay, oh no, what a bummer." And I was like, "I'm just gonna come and ride with you." So I just like went off the course and jumped onto the bike path with him. I was like, "I'll just follow you, can you like take me back into town?" So it was actually so nice. He's the nicest guy. We like just chatted, and he took me back into town. And then I found Elise, and Elise had been talking to Ben, and anyway, everyone had been looking for me. No one knew where I was. And then I was found, and I was sad. And then we kind of just watched a bit of the race and went back to the hotel. Found me.
Look who I found. She's alive. Thanks, Ben.
What a legend, seriously. So, how did I feel? I was really sad. I think there was like a couple of things that contributed to it. Like, I felt like kind of numb about the whole flat tire situation, to be honest, because the whole trip had been like nothing but trouble. Like going back a week before we left with the whole COVID test and not knowing what the COVID requirements were to get in the country. Like starting a week before the race, there was just like, it seemed like problem after problem after problem, delay after delay, just all these little problems the entire trip. So to be honest, it kind of like didn't even surprise me that I got a flat. I was just like, yeah, this makes sense. Like the cherry on top to this like crazy week. So I felt like kind of numb about that initially. Like I didn't really even have any emotion other than just being a bit sad. But then also like Laura Phillip having this amazing performance, which I still don't think a lot of people comprehend how good her performance was on the weekend. Like that also like added another layer of like, what am I even doing this for? Like I'm never going to be able to compete at that level. And like every race, when you have a good race or you have a good performance and you think you're like making up some ground and like getting better, then someone just has another phenomenal performance. Like, and I know that's the way sport works. Obviously I'm not silly, but it's just can be really discouraging initially. So I think it was a bit of like, sorry about that, kids out on their scooters. Yeah, it was a bit of like the flat tire and being tired and everything going on in the week, but then also just like, gosh, should I be retiring? Like I just try so hard, and you obviously train so hard, and just so far behind these best women having these amazing performances. But then obviously that goes away, like after a day or two, when you keep thinking about it, you actually then start to get really fired up and wanting to get back into work and seeing what's possible. These other women kind of show you like what is possible. But yeah, I felt like kind of numb for the first 24 hours, and then it was actually the day after the race I felt like kind of felt like I was on the verge of tears all day. And I actually did that night, the night after the race, I actually cried a few times, like when I was trying to go to sleep and then I couldn't sleep properly, and so I actually felt upset mostly on the second day. And I know, like, anyone that's been following me for a while knows I'm a huge like realist, and I'm very big on perspective and trying to find perspective all the time. And of course I know getting some flat tires and not finishing a race is not a big issue in the scheme of like problems in the world. It's just frustrating, the expense and the training. Like after St. George, I decided not to have a big break and to keep working through, even though I was like exhausted, to do another race. So you're pushing yourself to like get through to this next race and putting a lot of hard work in straight after an Ironman. So there's that side of it, but also just the expense, like all the money that it costs to like get over there and do the race and like get all your stuff race prepped and everything. And then like this is the first race in a long time where I'm not getting paid. Like I pride myself on pretty much every race I do, I get a paycheck. Yeah, so to not finish and like make $0 when it's probably cost you like, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000 to go there, $3,000 or $4,000 to go there and race. That's one of the big frustrations. So yes, I know there's another race and there's this and that and there'll be another time and who cares, and chuck it in the effort bucket and whatever, but the reality is like it's costing money, and money that you don't really have as a professional to like just waste really. So yeah, I still feel a bit sad now actually. It hasn't gone away yet. Just frustrated and annoyed and yeah, a bit down about it, and I know it'll go away. So anyway, we left to go to St. Moritz.
We got it in. Then we had to move it.
Life couldn't be that simple. We're just sitting down on a 9-hour flight to Perth, where we were supposed to change and then go to
9-hour train.
What did I say?
Flight.
Train. An hour, 9-hour train to Kerr, and then at Kerr we're supposed to change to St. Moritz, and then all of a sudden this train just stopped at Basel, and we're all just sitting there, and he started making an announcement in Dutch, which we didn't understand, but what we did understand is that everyone was getting off the train. Anyway, so we got off, and apparently they just didn't want to like drive anymore. So they told everyone to get off, and we have to get another train. So
How were you pronouncing Kerr?
Chur. I was saying Chur, but it's called Kerr, just FYI. Anyway, we just need to get on 2 more trains now. Fine, we sorted it out. 2 seconds. There's no more train line. Yeah.
Let's show them
We're alive.
what we have to go through every time in the train. There's no stairs on this one by the book, so
No.
it should be quite simple.
Okay, let's go before someone steals that car. You guys know this is going to be my home now for the next 2.5 months. I've spent 2 training camps here in the past. I think I've like stayed here for a total of 5 months in the past at training camps. So like I know the area, I know it like the back of my hand. I know all the ride routes, the run routes, how the pool works. So it was really, really nice to get here and just know where you're going and know where the supermarket is and know how everything works. It's like so much less stress than going to a place where you've never been to before. And I just love this place. It's like the most beautiful place on earth. It's so relaxing, so peaceful, so quiet, no traffic lights. The riding's amazing, the running's amazing, the pool's beautiful. It's just quiet. It's very different to most other places that I've been to on training camps. It's at 1800 meters of altitude, so it's another altitude block here. And like life is just so simple here. It's really expensive. Anyone that has been here knows it's really expensive, so getting set up isn't cheap. Like we actually have quite cheap accommodation. We just stay, just so if people want to know, like you can't, well you can if you have money, a lot of money, you can stay in an Airbnb or something here, but like to give you an example, an Airbnb, like a 1-bedroom apartment here was like $10,000 to $12,000 for 2.5 months. I'm staying in, like there's some real fancy hotels here, like 5-star hotels, and each hotel has like what they call a staff house, which is like accommodation for their workers at the hotel. Very, very like basic accommodation. So I'm staying at one of the hotel's staff houses, and it's fine, like just very, very basic 2-bedroom apartment. But yeah, the cost is like $1,500 or franc a month compared to like $5,000 for an Airbnb. Okay, this is Elise's room, and over here, Elise likes to do like building things and whatever, and I can't get my little spares kit back together after the race, so I left this here. This is Elise's little jigsaw puzzle that she has to work on when she's got time. This is the dining living area, bathroom, heated floors, heated towel rails. Then we have our dining room. Isn't this lovely? And everything's very expensive in Switzerland, which I'll talk to you guys about later, but these are all Elise's like bargain magazines, so watch out for the bargains. This is our kitchen. It's very small, but it's fine. The fridge is very small. There's no freezer actually. We're actually gonna buy a freezer. We're trying to find a bargain on. And this is my room. And this is my washing basket. I love my washing basket. Am I like 10 years old? Yes, I am. And this is the balcony. We have a stream thing like running right at the back, and this is my room right here. I can hear it at night time. So peaceful. So this is our house. Okay, what's going on here? Look at that. Best $124 you ever spend when you go on training camps overseas. So that's one of the things I actually love about St. Moritz is how simple it is. Everything's so expensive that you can't afford to like have luxuries. You've just got to keep everything really basic and simple. And I always... Okay, when I was saying how St. Moritz is expensive, this is the difference, right? These are the biggest bargains we found. We went to the first supermarket. This sunscreen, 15 Swiss francs. That's like $22 Australian or something. Then we went to Aldi or some other cheap place in the afternoon. 5 Swiss francs. 15.5 sunscreen. $10 Swiss francs difference. That's 15 Australian difference. And scales, they were like 50 franc everywhere, and then we found these at Aldi 25 franc. Yeah. This is $1.5 million Australian for an apartment, a little apartment in Malaysia. Like it's like a little village. And this one, 2 million Australian. Yeah, like this is obviously 1.1, that's 1.8 million Australian. It's obviously a little unit in that building. Simple. And I always find when I come here that you just sleep, train, eat, repeat, and I'm always in such a great headspace. I always get really fit here. There's no distractions, so I'm definitely in my happy place right now. So we got here a couple of days ago. I actually have this week off, and I'm really trying to just enjoy the week off and try not to think too much about training. This is like kind of a mid-year break, I guess, before we have a like big build up then through to Kona. So we've eaten out like what, 2 or 3 times. I've had pizza, I've had pasta, I've had wine. We've got wine in here. We're going to Zurich for the day tomorrow to get hair cut and coloured, get my eyelashes done. Going out for breakfast this morning because it's Elisa's birthday. Going out for lunch in Zurich with someone else, one of my like super fans and super followers on Instagram who's been amazing. Probably going to go out for dinner or get takeaway on Saturday night. So yeah, just really enjoying the downtime.
We're having a good time in the coop or the co-op or whatever they call it. Renee's running off. She's strategically filled my trolley first before we get to the food section. So I've got all the cleaning stuff, and so she's got an empty trolley to fill with all her food that she wants.
I was just telling Elise a story like literally yesterday about how last time I was in St. Moritz, I was just in my room on my trainer doing a bike session, and I just watched this helicopter like come out of freaking nowhere and just fly into the middle of a mountain and like drop its like rope thing down, and like 2 seconds later it just like pulled up this massive tree and flew off with it. And it all happened within like 3 minutes. I was like, oh my god. And apparently like they just do that because like when a tree falls on a trail or something, they just don't want it there, so they like just send in a helicopter to remove it. Anyway, it just happened as we left the freaking our accommodation to go to breakfast. It just happened, as you guys saw. Who's a little bit excited right now? Check this out.
That's me.
Elite athlete card for high altitude training. Downtime. I only unpacked my bike yesterday. I have no plans to go for one bike ride this week.
Another country, another bike build.
What a drainer.
It looks so sad. Put its wheels on.
Gonna go for a swim this morning because I feel a bit tight in the body. But other than that, I'm really trying to just enjoy the downtime before we have another huge few months. Race plans, haven't decided yet. Like obviously I'm doing Kona, but I'm just trying to use this week not to think about racing and plans too much. So maybe in the next YouTube episode I will have thought about that and I can share with you guys what the race plans might be for the next few months. But that's the race recap. This is where we're going to be for the next 2.5 months. We're going to keep the YouTube up every week. Let me know in the comments like if there's anything in particular that you want to see in future episodes. And let us know like if you're happy or not happy with what we're showing right now, and make sure that you subscribe. I hate saying this, it's so cliche and tacky, but we're getting heaps of views and heaps of likes, but the subscriptions aren't going up. So just make sure you subscribe, it really helps us. Yeah, we know whether to keep continuing to spend time and energy doing these videos.